line like this requires everything I've learned and worked for my whole life. Getting into these untamed landscapes and doing these things that make us feel alive, you can't put into words how gratifying that feeling is.
How's it feeling, Nick? It's pretty full on. How are you feeling?
Okay.
You need these things in life that seem far-fetched when you say them out loud. It's good to have these wild goals that keep the wheels spinning.
Papsura is just this mythical mountain that's just got this incredible line that splits the face. It just begs to be shredded.
This is a dream line. It's high altitude, it's exposed, and it's in the middle of nowhere.
The more obscure and exotic the line, the higher the stakes. And the tallest, grandest, most mythical mountain range is the Himalaya.
These are the tallest mountains on Earth. How can you not want to go snowboard out there?
Once a line gets into your head and the obsession takes over, that's kind of when the blinders come on. You gotta just go a little nuts in order to get the line finished.
You ask yourself, can I do that? I don't know, but there's no way of knowing until you actually give it a shot. My vision of snowboarding is a balancing act between simplicity and the complicated. Thankfully, the best way to build up towards these grand aspirations is by simple snowboarding with your friends in the woods. Dude, check it out, barrel. We're driving up the street and gonna go link up with Dr. Jeremy Jones and Jim Zellers, the two guys that showed me the ways of splitboarding.
Nick is just committed his life to the type of snowboarding that he's doing. But he also gets so much joy from the mountains and has so much fun.
Snowboarding is so important to him, and the feeling of it and the purity of it. You kind of go back to the foundation and the roots of a sport that has no purpose, and it's just simple fun.
All right, that was pretty good.
It's all about getting out with our friends, taking inspiration with how they look at the mountain. If you look back at the journey that you've been on, you got to appreciate it.
That was so sweet! Never know till you go! Yes!
In 2015, I got really sick, was admitted to the hospital with a grapefruit-size abscess in my liver. Almost died. The only thing that helped me with that process was getting back on the mountain. After getting sick, I really held this appreciation for every day that I had to be on my snowboard.
Merci beaucoup. Hell of a day.
I wasn't going to let any opportunity slip. For the next couple of years, fire was lit. There was nothing that was going to stop me.
We got Nick Russell in the booth, professional snowboarder. We're talking bagging giant peaks. He's got a bunch of first descents, and he's all about human-powered snowboarding.
He's put in the time, he's done his homework, and has been on this thoughtful march into bigger and more serious lines since I met him.
As soon as a line came into my mind, I couldn't get it out until I actually went and tried it. That part of the journey is so important. You can't get where you're going unless you know where you came from. The type of riding that I'm really drawn to these days. It's how can we bring this free ride element into the alpine? Seeing this whole side of free riding transform into big mountain riding and doing it on foot. I knew that I was going to be snowboarding every single day for the rest of my life. And over time, it's just devolved into complete and utter simplicity.
Welcome to the Wonderberry Mountain Observatory.
Observatory life is pretty simple. No running water, no cell service, no power. Everything slows down. It's really important for me to have a goal that I can build up towards. The Eastern Sierra is the perfect training ground to step into the greater ranges around the world. What really draws me in is trying to figure out how to tune in to this natural environment. Doing it on foot, maybe I only rode one line, but I got to see the evolution of that line. It's such a intimate process where you're seeing this whole landscape from a micro level. You're doing everything that you've set your life up to do. While maybe you're not thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, you're still somehow also thinking about everything. You know, I'm reminded every day out there that you've reached your destination by realizing you're already there.
coming to visit.
When the ice axe matches the jacket.
Yeah, freestyle.
Hog on the horizon.
Oh man, that was fun. We're going fishing here. Oh, we got a big one. Looks like yeah, that's 1.5 liters right there.
Dude, catching hogs?
So I look at the season as a slow marathon arc that leads up to the spring and have that grand adventure in mind. Papsura is the ultimate inspiration.
Papsura is referred to as the peak of evil, and Dharamsura right next to it is referred to as the peak of good. And as the story goes, these mountains fluctuate and change in height over years and thousands of years and millennia, and it's sort of the balance of what force is strongest in the world.
It's a pretty spiritual place to visit to. There has to be an element where you're tapping into that, because if not, you're going to miss something. Something that the mountain's giving you or something that it's telling you. And ultimately, you don't know until you get there and spend time to fully immerse yourself.
Hilaree had talked to me a lot about Papsura. The mountain itself was built up into such a wild place for me through her passion and excitement for it.
Hilaree, Jim, and Chris Figgenshaw, they made the first descent and only descent using survival ski tactics in a whiteout. It was a 20-year dream. That was her third attempt.
They've done a lot of heavy descents. And when they came back and I heard the stories, I was like, wow, they're not speaking to this as like just another one. I don't usually hear that tone out of them to be like, this was the real deal.
She had told me, Nick, you should go try to ride this mountain. Jim and Hilaree set me on this path of pursuing more high altitude endeavors. That's kind of what brought me to Nepal. I was in Nepal fall 22 on Dhaulagiri. It was not meant to be.
Still raining here, and the forecast is calling for more rain.
Sometimes you go to the mountains and you have grand intentions and put everything in place to have your best chance of success, and sometimes they just scream no at you.
Jim and Hilaree were nearby on Manaslu, and we had gotten word that there was an accident. Hilaree slipped and fell down the mountain. And the hero got taken out. That was just like, after her passing the past year, that offhand remark about Papsura just kind of set with me, and I started thinking about it more and more. I started talking to Jerry Mark, who grew up in Telluride.
Going up on a Tuesday.
On any expedition, you need a super tight team. Jerry and I are on a pretty similar path into the bigger mountains in the sense that we've both taken inspiration from Hilaree. It just seemed like the perfect partnership.
Yeah!
Papsura training camp. We got to share some days with Jim where he was super generous with the beta that was pretty invaluable. Got to the IMF, Indian Mountaineering Federation. Gonna take care of our climbing permit. So Jerry, tell me, why do you want to work here?
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right, so how much vert can you crush? Drove about 14, 15 hours yesterday from Delhi. 5 hours of driving today, and then we begin the trek. Holy cow. Out of the car. Feel like we've been in transit for the last 5 days or so. Now it begins. We start the trek to the peak of evil. These guys did some heavy lifting today. Thank you so much.
The only thing I'm concerned about is snow leopards. We just found this, so we'll see. We got my bone tomahawk. Fired up.
Everything goes into a line of this magnitude. You basically put your whole life on hold to try and gamble your life on a maybe. You know, we don't know if the line's gonna be in. We're not gonna see the line for 10 days of really hard work to just get to the base of it. And then at that point, you have to climb it and ride it. We're in the midst of it in the cathedral right now, and there's been far more snow than expected, which is amazing for the riding. I think this is gonna be our new base camp for the next couple of weeks. I think what I love most about expeditions is the full immersion experience you get out here, spending weeks to try to ride one line. One line. It's gonna take you a month to do it. Food is always the crux and most nerve-wracking.
Too much is too heavy. Rations, that sucks.
First day moving out of base camp. Time to get to work.
We have so much gear that we have to do this shuffle and caching rotation. So we go from base camp, do a grueling hike on up, bury the gear, come back down, grab some more gear, go on up. And it's this rhythmic cycle of just moving your way further up the mountain bit by bit.
Pumping loads, licking toads.
This is going to be the highest peak that we've ever been on top of. Even though we've been up high peaks like Denali, being at altitude is kind of like Russian roulette. Don't know how your body's going to react.
We've been spending a lot of time in the Eastern Sierra between 10 to 14,000 feet. To put it in perspective, our Camp 1 is at 14,000 feet. Bags felt like they're 1,000,000 pounds today. We're gonna cache all of our tech gear and continue the process.
It's hard riding at high altitude. You suffer a lot, and the more time you spend there, the more your body gets accustomed to it, and you slowly chip away at the ability to get up as high as you want to get.
Just digging a tent platform at 16,000 feet will take your breath away. Trying to think about snowboarding at 21,000 feet, you need to work up to that.
Is that it?
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
100.
Wow.
%.
Dude, I'm tingling through my body right now.
Papsura.
I can see why Hilaree was so obsessed with this thing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I remember the moment when we came around the corner and I got my first view of Papsura and I just started crying. And I'd never done that before in my life. It just defines what draws me into the mountains, and it was the sexiest beast I'd ever seen.
First views of Papsura.
See different textures. Is it white ice? Is it not white ice? Is it 4 feet of duff? Not 4 feet of duff? We don't know, you know?
I'd say it's not 4 feet of duff.
It's definitely not 4 feet of duff, but you know.
Solid.
Not bad.
All the lines that I've done, I had to get to a point where I could envision the line being ready, myself riding it. I'd say 95% of the time, my vision turned into a ragdoll vision.
Seeing the line for the first time the other day, you know, there aren't really words for it. I mean, it literally takes your breath away staring at this thing. When faced with the reality of what you came to set out and do, it's like, careful what you wish for.
We're deciding to start at the lower right on the mountain, dog leg angle, just boot packing under this incredible rock wall. Once we cross the Bergstrand, we have this L diagonal, and then we're finally in the heart of the line, and then there's some ice. What that ice is gonna be like, nobody knows. We'll just hopefully be able to swing some pics through it and hopefully summon, and then ride on back down.
That ice is definitely way more visible than 2 days ago.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. There's this blue ice pitch just right at the top. It looks pretty steep when we're looking at it, and the fact is that we're gonna be exhausted at 21,000 feet, and the crux is right at the summit. You know, you fall, you die.
The main part of Papsura, you're always above this massive serac at the bottom. A fall there is just not an option.
It's zero mistake snowboarding. The exposure ups the stakes to the highest level.
We can export this and put it on everybody's phones so we can have it and compare and
Stare it into my sleeping bag and keep me up at night.
Or do that, yeah.
I already did that. I made the mistake last night.
Just breathing on my phone, condensation.
I was staring through my viewfinder on my little point and shoot, and I was like, is that ice? Is that not ice?
Right.
And then I was like, oh man. I was like,
Probably won't know till
I
you're
was
on it, really.
totally in the
It's-
wheelhouse,
or
and then
how-
I'll like see something else. I'm like, I don't know if this is the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And then I didn't sleep, so I'm done doing that.
Gearing up. First day pushing up to high camp. 18.5 chow. Highest we've been yet.
Okay. We said there.
You get to a point where it's like, all right, we've put in all this time and it seems like the window is opening.
I just love the process of working up towards this grand monster in the sky. Needing to be as physically and mentally fit as you can, knowing that the hardest, most scariest part is yet to come. Currently going through all the little bits and pieces here. Second guessing life. I'm nervous knowing that I'm gonna get scared on this thing. This is the heaviest thing that any of us have ever tried. Just hoping that the stars align to allow a safe passage.
Fired up, starting to glow. We gotta go. Time to get up this hog.
Just counting brass up here at above 20 chow. Getting high up on the face. We're getting close. We're the closest we've ever been by far.
Stoke. It's high.
Oh yeah! Funny, the first time I ever really used an ice axe, Hilaree taught me how. And look at us now, hell.
How's it feeling, Nick?
Pretty full on. Once I got going, couldn't really stop.
Good enough? How are you feeling?
Okay.
Nice and slow.
One move right here, but other than that, it's good.
Yeah, the rock looks pretty nice.
And I think once we get just to there, we're good.
Yeah, just don't kick too much off on us.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
You ever hand jump? 21,000 feet. Yeah, right there, baby. You know, 21,000 feet. It's a doozy.
I like where we are right now. We just climbed Papsura.
I can't believe it. That was so gnarly. Holy fuck. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thanks for the vision, Hilaree.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's for you, Hill.
Wouldn't be here without you.
Skiing at altitude involves a lot of extra risk. There's good snow in places and there's water ice in other places. Your body's fatigued, you're fatigued, and so you have to dial it way back and be very precise. It's right on the edge of what you can and can't do.
Nick dropping. Talk about ambiance. Snow is perfect for this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, brother.
Oh my God. We just rode Papsura.
Oh man. Oh, it's insane. Oh my God. I can't believe it.
It's gonna be hard to beat that one.
Whew.
This is magic.
These big objectives, these wild, far and away, dreamy places, they envelop your whole being, and preparing for them for months or years, but you're not really sure if you're going to be able to do it. And when you do, there's this sort of surreal moment of, I can't believe we pulled it off.
Got these big old pigs I gotta carry down. Thank God for gravity. You wanna bend at your back, not your knees.
Getting down from a peak like this, it's hard to describe. It made me feel probably the most alive I've ever felt in my life.
Pretty good.
Fucking up, that's all she wrote. She's been good to us. It's bittersweet leaving here always. Happy to head out with good memories behind us and good energy. When you look at this whole pursuit, it's easy to think conquistadors of the useless. You're just going up and sliding down on a piece of wood. What's the point? I look at it like, no, it's not useless at all. This is what gives us purpose. This is what brings life to us. When it's all said and done, this interesting thing happens. The mountain almost transforms in front of your eyes. What was once this objectively beautiful line that you wanted to climb and ride has now transcended into something much more meaningful. It suddenly represents this proud validation of your efforts and stands as proof of the process.
Sorry, Mom. I know you're not really gonna like this video if you see it, but you know, kept it between the lines and we're down here at the bottom. So, love ya.
.30 in the morning. Can't sleep because of jet lag. Just getting acquainted with the locals. Did you back up the footage?
Really hoping the ice is, as our friend Clark says, pedestrian.